Hi class, welcome to project number 1, the residential project. You will be assigned a residential house to study and recreate in Revit. You will create professional construction documents for the residents. There are a couple submissions that are required in order for you to meet the requirements for this project. And this is an individual project. So you may have the same house as someone else, but you have to work on it individually. So let's take a look in the Project 1 Residential Project folder. In this folder, you are going to see an overview of the project. So if you click on this document and open it, you'll see several houses. All of these houses are from the Solar Decathlon or Blue Homes. So if we scroll down, you can see all of the houses that we're going to be working on. There's links to each of the houses that link you to the floor plans and the construction documents. Now you might be asking yourself, what's the Solar Decathlon? So let's click on this link, where did the house designs come from? This leads you to the Solar Decathlon's website. So every 2 years there's a competition that is held, and this competition is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Energy. Colleges from across the world create houses. They're 800 square foot to 1,000 square foot houses that are very energy efficient. So I'm kind of botching up the explanation. Let's just read it. It says, what is a Solar Decathlon? So you can read through this. There's 10 contests that students enter into, and they build full-size solar-powered houses. So that's what you saw on the previous slide. The 10 contests that they compete in are right here. They have an architecture, market potential, engineering, communications, innovation, water, health and comfort, appliances, home life, and energy. And they get 100 points on each one of those. So to learn more about each of those competitions, you can click on it and see how they're scored. Now this isn't how you're going to be scored. I just thought you'd find it interesting where the houses come from. These houses are actually, after they are presented at the competition, sometimes they're brought back to the school and sometimes they're sold off. So it's kind of interesting because part of the competition is that the students build these houses on their own campus, and then they have to ship them to wherever the competition is. So in 2017, the competition was in Denver, Colorado. However, there was schools from, let's say, Maryland who competed. So they had to drive their houses on trucks all the way down over to Colorado, and then they had to rebuild the houses. So it's part of their design process to make these houses so they could take them apart and put them back together again. So anyway, let's go back to the house selections. Each one of you will be assigned one of these houses, and when you know which house that you are assigned, you can hit Control and click on the link, and it brings you to the page of the school, and then you can click on their construction drawings and construction specifications to be able to open the document set. So I'll click on the construction documents, and you'll see they start at G, and then they go all the way through the architectural, structural, etc. drawings. So you're mainly probably going to be looking at those architectural drawings in the very beginning, so you can scroll to that. Okay, so before you get started with the project, let me just give you a little bit of an overview of how I would get started and how you should get started with this. So, the first thing that we want to do is we want to download the drawings for our house. So I'm going to download this construction document set and the specifications that I saw on the page and save them onto my flash drive or somewhere where I can access them. Do not print the entire drawing package, please, especially if you're on campus. That's a lot of paper to use. You may want to print the most relevant drawings that you're using at the time, but if you do that, you can go File, Print, and then you can select which page. So say like you only wanted page 2, you'll put that in there, and then it'll only print page 2. But please don't print the entire drawing package, and please do not plot them. The largest that you should print these is to 11 by 17. To begin, we're going to collaborate slightly, and if you're in online class, we're going to use discussion board to do this. If you're in a face-to-face class, we're going to do this face-to-face. So we need to answer some questions in order to get started with our house. To start, what type of materials is my house made of? So you are going to take a look at your digital drawing set here, and I need you to find out where the drawings list the types of materials that the house is made out of. So I'm actually going to pick a set of drawings that's not in the running, to be fair. So this set of drawings, these are the as-built, so this is actually what was drawn, and you guys may want to look for the as-built as well. I'll give you this link. Okay, so to start off, I'm looking for the types of materials that my house is made of. So one area that I might look is my elevations, because my elevations should show me the types of materials that are on the outside of the house. Yeah, so from my elevations, I see reference or keynotes, and then each one of these reference keynotes points to a material, and then over here it describes the material. So this is the type of information you want to start writing down. If I have wood siding, or how thick is that wood? What type of wood is it? So this might also be where you have to reference the specifications to find the answers to these questions. So I can look at my elevations. Another place I might want to look is my wall sections, and that might give me some more information about the thickness of those materials. So you will join with your partner, and you're going to write down the materials that your house is made out of and those thicknesses. And the reason that we're doing this investigation first is you cannot start to draw in Revit unless you know this information, because we have to build specific wall types. Okay, so question number 2, how do you create a wall type with more than one material? So question number 1 is, what type of material is my house made of? You're going to write down the drawings that you found this information. You're going to write down the materials. And then you're going to answer number 2, how do you create a wall type with more than one material? And you're going to need to look back at your book to find this answer. And then you should create the wall type for the types of materials in your house. Now please be aware that there are probably more than one wall type in your house. So you'll have the exterior wall type, you're going to have an interior wall type, and there may be a secondary interior wall type. So you're going to need to do a little bit of investigation into the sections and into the floor plan as well, and probably into the specifications. Okay, so question number 4 is going to be, what are the heights of the walls? So this is the height of the exterior walls and the height of the interior walls. So what we need to do is, again, take a look at our drawing set, and we can look at these elevations and sections, and we could see the different levels. So there's datum lines in here. This says grade level, this says TO finished floor, so top of finished floor, the bottom of the roof header. There's different datum lines. So you are going to want to recreate these datum lines in your elevation drawings. Now please be aware that you may not need to create a plan view associated with these datum lines. So remember in Revit that when you go to make a datum line, a level line, you'll see it says make a plan view appear. You may need to uncheck that because some of them are just reference planes. They're letting us reference the height of different elements, but there's no plan view associated with that. So I might take a look at my elevations and my sections to find the heights of my walls. The 5th question is, what are the dimensions of my house? So please keep in mind, up to this point, we have not drawn anything in Revit except for our datum lines, but we haven't drawn any walls. We've created walls, but really there's nothing on the drawing. It's because we still have to gather all this information before we can start drawing. So what are the dimensions of your house? If you take a look probably at your floor plans, you're going to be able to see the overall dimensions of your house. So this is a reflected ceiling plan offering me some dimensions. This is a roof plan with some more dimensions, and then here's my floor plan, which has even more dimensions of the house. So I would recommend looking at the floor plans, maybe some enlarged plans, etc., to be able to find those numbers. This may be a page, the one page you want to print out as 11 by 17 so that you can highlight or just scratch out once you have completed a dimension. Now remember, you do have another person who also has the same house as you, so your answers and your dimensions have to line up. Otherwise, there's something wrong when I go to review them. Okay, and then the last question that we're going to answer before we start drawing is, what is the slope of your roof, and then what is the shape of your roof? And I would recommend looking at elevation drawings to find those answers. Maybe even the roof plan will give you an answer to that, but you should see a slope triangle indicated in the elevation view. If you do not, take a look at the roof plan and you'll see right here that there is a slope triangle. And if you can't see these drawings, remember that you can zoom in so that you can actually read them. So the slope of this house is 7.75 to 12. Now that you've found the answers to these questions, what I recommend doing is you have your wall types built, you have your elevations indicated, is now you can take a look at that floor plan and you can start drawing the floor plan of your house. Good luck, and this is just the start of our project. If you have questions, please post them to the Ask the Class forum. Thank you.